Hey, what is going on, you guys? It's Rocket S54 here, and welcome to the 22nd episode of Life Stories. Um, Again, guys, sorry this is going up so late. I had to do a cleanup at a beach in my town for a school project, so that took up about a good 2.5 hours of my time, and so yeah, hopefully me and my buddy Alex get a good grade on that project, and then after that, I just had McDonald's for lunch, and then me and my mom just watched movies. After that, we watched The Grudge, which I will have a review of that up soon, and then we just got finished watching 21 Jump Street about a half hour ago, and I'll probably have a review of that up soon. I don't think I have a review up for the first one. I know I have for the second, but not the first. But yeah. So anyway, basically, guys, another quick update. My do-over review, I'm going to finish the movie first thing tomorrow morning. Upload the review as soon as I'm done filming it. As soon as the do-over review's finished uploading, I will film the Q&A and then upload that while I'm into town, most likely. But anyway, guys, this story is going to be about the second worst birthday party I ever went to. And this is actually the exact same friend from the first worst birthday party story, because if you guys want to see the very worst birthday party I ever went to, go check that out. It's in my Life Stories playlist. I think it's episode number 10. But anyway, so I'm not going to get into too much detail about that, but it was the exact same friend. We're going to call him the same name that we called him in that video. We're going to call him Joe. And so basically, I was in 3rd grade when this happened, and me and this friend actually have the exact same birthday, and he was turning 9, and he invited me to his birthday party, and he said we were going to go to the movies. And we ended up seeing Tron Legacy. It was either between that or Chronicles of Narnia: Voyage of the Dawn Treader, but we ended up seeing Tron Legacy. And I remember Gulliver's Travels came out around that time, I think, but we had already seen it from another friend's birthday party, and it was just awful, guys. Don't bother with Gulliver's Travels if you haven't seen it. I didn't like it when I was a kid, so that should say something. And I didn't hate many movies as a kid, but if you guys want to see a good movie by the same director of Gulliver's Travels and the same main star, go check out the Goosebumps movie, because that's actually a very, very, very good movie. And anyway, guys, so after we're done seeing Tron Legacy, I think like from what I remember from when I was a kid, I liked it. But you know, I saw it like 6 years ago, so I don't remember anything. But yeah, so after we see Tron Legacy, we were eating lunch, and you know, you could either choose between like fries, a burger, and or pizza. And so anyway, I'm eating my pizza, drinking some pop, and we were watching a DVD of Happy Feet in the party room. I was eating my pizza, drinking pop, watching the movie, and talking to my friends. And then my stomach starts feeling really, really shitty. Like, I was like, oh man. I was like, why is my stomach feeling so shitty? Like, because guys, I didn't even really eat that much pizza. Like, I don't really think I ate that much, because, like, I don't remember it being too big. I think it was either, like, 2 moderate-sized pieces or 1 pretty big piece, but, you know, nothing I couldn't handle. So, like, I don't, and the thing is, when I was drinking pop, I think it was only on, like, my 2nd or 3rd, maybe my 4th glass at the worst of pop. And the thing is, like, guys, when you walk in, like, you know when you walk into, like, a car dealership and they have that machine that makes hot chocolate? That was about the size of these cups, except instead of foam, they were plastic. Like, clear plastic cups. And I can usually handle way more sugar than that, and, you know, that's a normal amount of pizza for me to eat. So I was like, why am I feeling so shitty? And I was feeling fine earlier that day. So then I'm like, oh my god, my stomach is feeling so shitty. So then I go up to Joe's mom and I say, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be a few minutes. And she's like, okay, see you in a few minutes. I was like, okay. Go into the bathroom, and I think maybe, because I think I was in there for like a long time. Like, I tried to shit, and I just couldn't. Like, I eventually did, but like, I remember it took a while before I could. I think this next part could have been a false memory, but I think maybe at one point, Joe's stepdad came into the men's room and asked me if I was okay, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine, and because I think I was in there for like 15 or 20 minutes, but yeah, so anyway, like, you know, I was sitting in there, you know, I did what I had to do. I shit in the bathroom, I dropped a bomb. It probably smelled like if you, like, shit on a match and then, like, lit that match, and then no. Forget one match. It's like if you shit on a whole box of matches and then lit every single one of those matches and then blew them out. Probably that was what it smelled like, but um then I go back and my stomach's still feeling shitty and I was like, "Why?" And then I'm like, "Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I need to get some fluid in me." But they only had pop there. So my stupid little 9-year-old self was just drinking pop. I first kept drinking root beer, and then my stomach felt even worse. So I was like, maybe root beer isn't the answer. Maybe Sprite is the answer, because they only had root beer and Sprite. And I was like, maybe Sprite is the answer. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink some Sprite. And then, Sprite didn't help. And then, I felt like I was gonna barf, honestly. And then, like, the thing is, I was like, oh man, my parents aren't gonna be here for like another 45 minutes to an hour to pick me up. And I was like, oh my god. And I just really wanted to get out of there. Luckily, like 5 minutes after that, my parents actually came to pick me up. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then my parents picked me up and took me home. And yeah, I felt so sick on the car ride in, and we had all the windows open. I remember feeling really, really, really cold in the car, but I really didn't want to shut the windows because, I probably would have barfed. As soon as I got out of the car, though, I went straight for the bathroom. I was like, I got out of my car, like, I got out of my, I think it was my dad's car. Yeah, it was my dad's. Well, no, it could have been mom's car. Whichever car I was in. I get out of the car and I'm like, Dad, give me the keys right the. Okay, I didn't say the F word, but I was like, Dad, give me the keys right now. And he's like, okay, here. And he like tossed the keys to me really quickly. And so then I just ran right to the house, opened the door, and I remember like I didn't even bother taking off my shoes. I'm like breathing really hard, and I run right into the bathroom, and I'm like, oh god, and I really feel it coming, and I threw up in the sink. I tried to make it to the toilet, but I just couldn't do it in time. I went right for the sink, and then I was like, oh god, and then like, my dad rushes in, and he's like, you okay? And I was like, no, and then like I threw up again, but like, the first time I didn't really look at myself. This time I looked at myself and like, holy shit, dude. It was like the Mount St. Helens of puke. Like, holy shit, you guys. You don't know. Like, you guys weren't there, but this was like the Mount St. Helens of puke. Like, holy shit. And I was like, oh my god. And I think the sink was like half full. I think the sink was like half full of puke. Because I was like really sick that day. Like, I didn't have food poisoning because that, like, I probably would have had to do more than that, but I was like, oh my god. And then my dad kind of laughed at me that I puked at the sink, but I was like, Dad, I couldn't make it to the friggin' toilet. And he's like, no, it's okay. He's like, and I was like, well, then why do you think it's funny that I had to throw up in the sink? And my dad's like, well, there was an episode of American Dad where Stan puked in the sink. And at that age, like, me and my dad just loved American Dad and Family Guy and all that. We still do now. But yeah, and then like I threw up in the sink, and I don't think I felt really too sick for the rest of the day. Like, but that was just really awful for me. I really, really, really hated that when it happened. And yeah. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this story. Subscribe for more content, and remember, you guys, whenever throwing up in sinks, say no to drugs.